You've got the bright lights, the multi-million-dollar contracts, and thousands of screaming fans. The stage is set for human perfection. But sometimes, Mother Nature decides she wants front-row seats to the action, and she doesn't care about the rules, the referees, or the scoreboard. Welcome back to Legendary Listicles. I'm the Legendary Lister, and today we are counting down the top 10 times wild animals completely hijacked the sports world. And buckle up, because we are starting this list off with a bang. Literally. The odds of number 10 happening are so astronomically low, you have to see it to believe it. The year is 2001. Spring training, Hall of Fame pitcher Randy Johnson, a massive 6'10", intimidating force known as the Big Unit, is on the mound. He is known for throwing a devastating fastball that routinely breaks 100 miles per hour. It's a terrifying, unhittable pitch for any batter forced to step into the box. Johnson gets the sign from his catcher. He goes into his windup. He unleashes a blindingly fast pitch right down the middle of the plate, but the ball never reaches the catcher's mitt. At the exact millisecond, the ball crossed the infield. A lone mourning dove flew directly into its flight. The 100-mile-per-hour baseball struck the bird dead center. The bird essentially vaporized into a cloud of feathers on live television. It was a 1,000,000,000-to-1 statistical anomaly, cementing it as the most visually shocking sports interruption of all time. Football pitches see their fair share of streakers, but during a 2013 Swiss Super League match, the invader was much faster, much furrier, and heavily armed with razor-sharp teeth. A wild pine marten bolted onto the field, bringing the intense match to a dead halt. Players awkwardly jogged after it, completely unable to catch the lightning-fast creature. Finally, defender Loris Benito decided enough was enough. He timed his approach and launched into a spectacular, full-extension diving tackle, successfully pinning the animal to the grass. But Benito forgot one crucial detail. Pine martens are wild predators. The terrified animal immediately latched its teeth into Benito's finger. Bleeding and in pain, he had to let it go. It went right back to sprinting around the pitch until the goalie, wisely wearing thick, heavy leather gloves, finally scooped the critter up.
All the insects really distracting Chamberlain and the rest of the Yankee infield. You see Derek Jeter waving that cap around.
And swarming into the number 8 spot. If you believe in curses, the 2007 American League Division Series is your best evidence. The New York Yankees are facing the Cleveland Indians in the playoffs. It's the 8th inning, and a freak, unseasonable heat wave over nearby Lake Erie has triggered something horrifying. A massive hatching of midges, tiny, gnat-like bugs. A biblical-level swarm descended onto the stadium, and for some reason, they targeted Yankees relief pitcher Joba Chamberlain. They coated his neck, his arms, and his face. The stadium staff tried to help, pausing the game to douse the pitcher in bug spray. But it backfired horribly. The spray didn't repel the midges. It made his skin sticky, trapping the bugs to him like flypaper. Distracted, disgusted, and constantly swatting at his own eyes, Chamberlain threw 2 wild pitches. Cleveland tied the game, eventually won the series, and the Yankees dynasty was eaten alive by 1,000,000 tiny bugs.
And the nightmare for Chamberlain is over as the Indians move on, and the Yankees are headed home.
And there's a squirrel that ran right in front of home plate. We saw the squirrel yesterday, and now he's in the stands.
Sometimes an animal interruption ruins your season. Other times, it wins you a championship. During the 2011 MLB playoffs, the St. Louis Cardinals were locked in a do-or-die battle with the Philadelphia Phillies. Right as Phillies pitcher Roy Oswalt began his windup to deliver a crucial pitch, a distraction emerged from the shadows. A wild squirrel darted out from the dugout. With impossible timing, the rodent scurried directly across home plate. At the exact millisecond, the ball crossed the strike zone. The umpire called the pitch a ball, infuriating the Phillies. But the Cardinals, they embraced the chaos, dubbed the Rally Squirrel. It became their unofficial mascot, sparking a bizarre wave of momentum that pushed the Cardinals all the way to a World Series victory. Usually when a soccer match stops, it's for a foul or a flop. But during a 2023 Federation Cup match in Tanzania, the game stopped for sheer terror. In the middle of the second half, a massive, angry swarm of bees invaded the pitch. And these weren't just passing through, they were attacking. Panic erupted. There was nowhere to run. Players, referees, and coaches all simultaneously hit the deck, army crawling across the grass and burying their faces to avoid being stung. The game had to be suspended for crucial minutes while the swarm passed. It remains one of the only times in sports history where both teams agreed to a temporary truce just to survive nature's wrath. And lumbering onto the leaderboard at number 5, golf is supposed to be a gentleman's game, quiet, refined, predictable. Unless you are playing tournaments in Florida or Louisiana, where the water hazards contain actual dinosaurs. Tournaments like the Zurich Classic are famous for this. You're trying to sink a putt worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Your heart is pounding, and suddenly, a 12-foot alligator decides it's time for a stroll. These aren't small lizards. These are massive predators casually walking across the fairway. When this happens, the rules of golf go out the window. You don't play through. You stand back, you let the dinosaur have the right of way, and you pray it doesn't want to play fetch with your golf ball. Game 6 of the 1975 World Series, one of the greatest games ever played. The Boston Red Sox need a miracle in extra innings. Deep inside the famous Green Monster scoreboard, a cameraman named Lou Gerard was tasked with following the ball if anyone hit a home run. But as Red Sox legend Carlton Fisk stepped up to the plate, Gerard noticed something else in the cramped booth with him. A massive rat, Gerard described it as big as a cat, crawled onto his leg. Fisk hit the ball. It was soaring toward the foul pole. Gerard was supposed to pan the camera to follow it, but frozen in absolute terror by the rat on his leg, he couldn't move the camera. He just kept the lens trained on Fisk, waving his arms. The result was one of the most iconic Emmy-winning shots in sports history, all thanks to a terrifying rodent.
Red Sox win it 7-6 in 12 innings.
And zooming into the number 3 spot, the Bathurst 1000 in Australia is one of the most dangerous racetracks in the world. Cars tear down the mountain at speeds over 180 miles per hour. One wrong move means disaster. Drivers have to be hyper-focused. But at Bathurst, you don't just have to watch out for other cars or the concrete walls. You have to watch out for the locals. It happens almost every year. A massive kangaroo will decide to hop right onto the live racetrack. Hitting a 200-pound animal at those speeds will be catastrophic for the driver and the animal. It leads to some of the most heart-stopping near misses in racing history, proving that in Australia, even the commute is deadly. Swooping in to the number 2 spot, it's Halloween night, 2009. The San Antonio Spurs are playing at home. Suddenly, the game is interrupted by a specialized aerial unit.
And the bat's leading the parade.
A live bat began flying around the court, terrorizing the players and referees who were ducking for cover. The game had to be stopped. While everyone else panicked, Spurs legend Manu Ginobili saw an opportunity.
Manu's tired of that stinking delay.
He tracked the bat's flight path, waited for the perfect moment, and swatted it out of midair with his bare hand.
It was Manu!
He casually picked it up and carried it off the court to a standing ovation. On Halloween night, Manu didn't dress up as Batman. He became Batman. And finally, the moment that stopped the entire sports world cold. Hard Rock Stadium, Miami. A college football game is happening, but suddenly, 65,000 people stop watching the field and look up in horror. A stray cat had fallen over the railing of the upper deck. It was dangling by a single paw, dozens of feet above the hard concrete below. It was a tragedy waiting to happen on live TV. But the fans in the lower bowl sprang into action. They grabbed an American flag they had brought to the game and stretched it out, creating a desperate safety net. The cat lost its grip and plummeted. The entire stadium gasped, but the flag held. The cat was caught perfectly. The stadium erupted louder than for any touchdown that day. It was a miraculous save, proving that sometimes the most legendary moments in sports have absolutely nothing to do with the game itself. From bats in the belfry to gators on the green, Mother Nature always bats last. Which one of these interruptions was your favorite? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this wild ride, smash that like button and subscribe to Legendary Listicles for more unbelievable true stories. Until next time, keep your eyes on the field and maybe check the sky every now and then.